Are you looking for a spouse and wanting to know what you should look for when you are trying to find the right person for you? If so, check out this video because today we're going to be talking about 5 tips to help you find the right spouse for you. Hi, I'm Rhonda Brown, registered nurse, counselor, marriage and family therapist, and relationship coach. And welcome to the Art of Connection Therapy channel, where we talk about connection. Connection to God, connection to ourselves, and connection to others so that we can begin to move toward having the kinds of relationships that we were created to have. There are instances where someone may pick someone who's not really compatible for them, try to bring them into counseling, either premarital counseling or couples counseling, and then want to change that person and use the therapist to maybe change that person. My friends, while this strategy may work in some instances, that is the exception and not the norm. This is why it's important to find someone who is committed to growing themselves, whether they're with you or not. Their commitment is to self-growth and also the growth of the relationship. The person has to want change and see a need for it. And if you have that person that's wanting to do that and you're wanting to do that as well, doesn't mean you'll always agree on how to do it. And that's a different conversation to have, but at least you have something that the two of you can work with. And that is a place of agreement where we're both committed to growing individually and having our relationship grow and thrive as well. You want to make sure that the person, when we're talking about committed to growing, is that they have the capacity or the desire or the practice of self-reflection and self-awareness. That is needed for growth, my friends. And if that's not present, or you're recognizing or realizing that in the relationship your partner may not have self-awareness or even wanting to develop that self-awareness, that may be an indication that maybe this person isn't the person for you, because you are dedicated to having and learning in the area of self-awareness. With self-awareness, again, you can kind of begin to know what your triggers are, why you do, what you should do instead. But none of that can be done if you're not really understanding where you are. So you want to be with someone who you and the person together are looking at where we are and then where we want to go. With self-awareness, then, if there is self-awareness in both partners, then both partners will be able to see how they contribute to the breakdown of the relationship. That's a difficult one, I know, because a lot of times when there's something going on in the relationship, we tend to point the finger. If he would just, if she would just. And while those things may be true, very seldomly are people looking at, what am I bringing to the table? Again, when you're growing in self-awareness, when you're determined to increase your self-awareness, then you will begin to see and acknowledge the part that you play in the breakdown or the conflict or the problems in the relationship. And you also want to make sure that the person you're choosing to be your spouse has the ability and capacity, I guess, to be able to do that as well. You want to be with someone who is curious and open to learning new things, right? Because again, that's part of growth. If someone always wants to stay within their comfort zones, how will they grow? If you have two people in a relationship that are willing to do that, there's no limit on that relationship as to how the couple can grow. But if you have one person that's willing to try new things and the other person that isn't, that can be a frustrating situation, because sometimes, again, and I talked about it in my other videos, we do what we do for a reason, for a good reason that makes sense to us. but that may not always be what's beneficial for our lives and our relationships. If we're not willing to try new things, how will we then get unstuck? How will we then learn and break some patterns? How will we grow? So it's important that when you are looking for a life partner, for a spouse, that you look to see examples while you're dating or indicators that this person is open to trying new things socially, open to trying new things emotionally, and maybe physically as well, if that's important for you. The last thing I would say about growth is making sure that you're finding someone who's willing to have tough conversations. Why am I saying that? Because in life, we have to have tough conversations. If you lived long enough, you will know that everything is not always happy. Everything isn't always sad, but everything isn't always happy. There are difficult decisions to be made. There are tough conversations to be had. If you are in a relationship where the other person is not able to have tough conversations, maybe they turn everything down, they shut everything down when something gets difficult, or you try to talk to them and they get completely out of control, nothing ever gets resolved. That's an indicator that maybe they have some trouble with having difficult conversations. Does that mean you need to leave them off of one instance? No, because we all are human and we all have triggers, and things do trigger us sometimes where it makes it difficult for us to address or face things. But if you're finding that there's a pattern or there's a difficult situation or issue that keeps coming up, it's not resolved, but your partner is willing to have the tough discussion with you, my friends, that is a red flag. Because again, in life, if you're talking about marriage, there will be more difficult decisions and difficult conversations to be had. You're thinking about two people spending the rest of their lives together, sharing their lives together, having children, and so on and so forth. That's a skill that both people will need to have or be willing to develop to have. And if you're not seeing that or finding a desire or willingness for that, that may be that the person that you are hoping to be with or dating, or maybe your potential partner, may not be at a place where they're ready to be with you. Because in order to be with you and in order to go through life, you will have to have difficult conversations. If you found this information helpful, please be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Also, you can hit the notification bell to know when I post more videos, because I like to post videos about connection and helping us to know ourselves and understand ourselves better, so that we can have better relationships with ourselves, with the Lord, and with the others that are most important to us. And lastly, you can check out my website at www.theartofconnectiontherapy.com. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time, and always remember that connection is an art worth mastering. Take care.